In this video, I'm going to show you how to create site links for your Google Ads. They are quick and easy to set up, don't cost you anything to use, and can have a notable impact on your Google Ad campaign performance. I'm also going to show you a number of examples and best practices when it comes to creating your Google Ad site links. Let's get into it. So the easiest way for me to explain what site links actually are is to show you a quick example. So if I jump over to another tab and then just search for something like AI agency, and we can see ads appear in the sponsored results right at the top, as you would expect when you're searching on Google. And we've got the standard ad up here. We've got headlines, we've got descriptions, and then beneath that, these, in this case, 5 links, those are site links. And what do? They're specific links to different pages on someone's website. So this main ad, if we click on the main ad itself, probably comes through to the home page or a specific landing page they've created associated with their Google Ad campaigns. But for example, if we click on our services, I would very much expect to go through to the services page. Our AI adoption framework will be a different page on our website. Geek scope and quote, case studies, book a free consultation. So site links to specific locations. So the first thing you can see with site links is that they make the ad much, much bigger. Like if I just scroll up to the top, I've searched AI agency, the site links take up so much space, and this is on a laptop, that I can't see any other results. I can't see any organic results. I can't see any other ads. I have to scroll down to get to the next ad, and then we've got AI overview, and then we've got, organic results beneath that. So that's one massive advantage of site links. They make your ad much bigger. They're going to grab more attention. They're going to push other advertisers out the way. You are far more likely, therefore, to get the click, far more likely for people to pay attention. It also really helps your prospects get to the places they want. Maybe I just want to go straight through to a quote. Maybe I want to check out the case studies of this business to decide whether or not I want to work with them. Maybe I just want to go ahead and book a free consultation, or I want to see what services they actually have. Maybe I'm interested in AI agency, but I'm not sure, and what do they actually do? I'm not familiar with it. Let's check out their services. And we know that if we can help our prospects get to where they want to get to faster, they are more likely to take the action we want them to take. If they wanted to check out a business's case studies, the easier it is for them to quickly click through and find the case studies, and that's information that's going to help them convert, the better for that business advertising. Right, case studies, great. There's a business just like ours. Let's work with this business. Maybe they want to come straight through to a contact page. The easier a business makes it for them to just get through to the contact page, the more likely they are to get in touch, which is likely to lead to a commercial action, lead sale, etc., right? So many reasons to use site links. Like I said previously, they don't cost anything extra. This is what they look like. They've got a headline and then a description component. I'm going to show you how to set them up within a Google Ad account now. So I'm in one of our example Google Ad accounts, and the way you navigate to where you create your site links is if you go and hover over campaigns, you'll probably see assets, and then you can just click on assets. If you don't see assets in this section, you can just go to tools and then go up here to Asset Studio. But if I go back and click on this here, then we come through to the place where you can see and create and adjust your assets. You can see we've got site link location. There are lots of other different types of assets. If you've created other stuff, you may well have things in here. Because as an example ad account, we don't have any in here. We don't have any site links yet. Site links used to be called extensions, by the way. They got renamed as assets along with all the other extensions and a number of other things. So if we go ahead and click on the plus, we can now create our site links. So a couple of things to note. You can see that Google says 2 unique site link assets are required for site links to show in your ads. So if you just create the one, it's not going to show. You need at least 2. To maximize performance, add 6 or more. So what Google wants is to create a lot of different site link extensions, I almost said it then. Site link assets, which will then allow Google to test the various options and see which performs best. They can also tailor different site links depending on the person and try and get the best performance that way. Then we need to decide at which level do we want to add these site links we're about to create. So the default here is account level, so it could be used across the account, across different campaigns. Or we can create site links that only apply to a specific campaign, or site links that only apply to a specific ad group. Now, in an ideal world, you would create specific site links that apply either at the campaign or even at the ad group level. That is dependent on your website having enough pages for that to make sense, and it depends on how you've got things grouped. So for example, if you've got a relatively simple website, might as well just create them at the campaign level. If you've got a very extensive website with lots of different options, you might be able to break it down. You know what? We've got 4 or 5 pages that only really apply to what we're advertising in that ad group. We'll link through to those. We think those are the best place. You can, of course, create site links that apply at the campaign ad group level and then replicate them for other campaigns and ad groups as well. But just some logic to think through that and get all that set up. Once you click on something like ad group, you'll then need to decide, okay, this campaign and then this ad group is what I want that to apply to. I can go ahead and click done, and then we've got that set up. Okay, and then we need to enter our information in here. So you can see we've got site link text. That's going to be basically the headline of the site link. Description line 1 and 2, which are optional but recommended. And then the final URL, where should people actually be taken using this site link. So we can start with an obvious one, something like contact us, right? That's a site link that a lot of businesses are going to want, because some prospects are just going to want to come straight through and contact you, whether they're prospects or already existing customers. Then in the description, we could have something like phone, email, or live chat. How about less than 24-hour response time? Something along those lines to help sell the click on the contact us. You'll be like, oh, okay, great. I can get in touch with them multiple ways and I'll get a response really quickly, or change it as appropriate. Then we need to put in our URL. So send that through to the page on your website where people can actually, in this case, contact us. And then we've got our first site link created. So let's add some others in to give you guys some more examples and things that you might want to add in. Another very common site link that you might want to use would be case studies, something we would use as a Google Ads agency advertising our services, right? So we want to pop case studies in here, and then we could have something like our client success stories, and then we could have your turn next. Try and sell the click onto the case studies. We know if people consume our case studies, they're likely to go on and become customers of ours. They're likely to inquire. Your business, if you have case studies, like to be the same. And then again, we need to paste our URL that's appropriate to that link in there. You could replace this, depending on your business, with testimonials or reviews. Like different businesses, the lingo and the type of page will be slightly different, but something that basically demonstrates that your product or your service gets the results that you talk about for people is often a good idea to have as a site link. You could also have site links for specific offerings. So it could be products, services. For our business, it might look something like this. So we could go with Google Ads done for you, which is typical lingo for the full service where we create, manage, and optimize your ad campaigns for you. We could have, say, 20 million plus in ad spend. We could go with trusted by hundreds of businesses, I believe will fit, something along those lines. And then the URL to our done for you service. And then we could add in another one for our mentorship program. So we could have Google Ads mentorship, which, just so you're aware of the offer, it's not where we actually run your ad campaigns for you, but we very much hands-on coach, unlimited one-to-one support, daily live calls and Q&As to help you get the best results possible if you want to continue managing them yourself. So we could then have in unlimited one-to-one support, daily live calls and Q&As. And then we want to add in the final URL for that as well. By the way, if you're interested in either of those offers, done for you where we take it off your hands, or the mentorship where we teach you how to get fantastic results, links to both are in the video description. And then there are other site link options that you may or may not want to use depending on what type of business you're advertising. So you could use call to action based site links, for example. So that would be things like this. That would be things like shop leather bags, and then add in the rest of the information. Or you could go with buy green shoes, something that's a little bit more call to action oriented. You want to add in those description lines as is recommended. They are optional, but I certainly recommend that you add them in as I demonstrated in these ones up here. We can keep adding more site links if we wanted. You could have offer specific or sales specific site links as well, right? So that would be things like 25% off site wide. Or you could have Christmas sale site link. And then everyone knows when they click through, they're going to see your product, service, etc. that are part of the Christmas sale. Again, you want to add in the other information. So this is going to have to be tailored to your business. Have a real think about, where am I happy to send people? Where do I think they are more likely to make a purchase or become a lead if they go to that location, should they choose to? Now, they still have to choose to go there, right? So the main link of your ad can be linking to a specific product page, specific service page, maybe even the homepage on your website. And these site links can be an addition, extra assets added onto the ad that people can navigate to specific locations, reviews, testimonials, case studies, contact, specific product ranges, Christmas sales, call to action based stuff. So lots of different options in there. So have a real good think, and you can always add in a lot of options and allow Google to test, work out which works best for your business. So other things that we need to note about these site links, we've got some other options, right? So firstly, we've got some URL options. So if you want to add in anything more sophisticated in terms of the tracking, you can absolutely go ahead and do that in here. And then also in advanced options, and it's particularly important for the offer-based site links, things like Christmas sale or 25% off, is that you can set a schedule for this asset. So you can say, look, start on such and such date, make sure it ends, at the end of, in this case, what have I selected, end of March. If that's the end of that sale, you don't want to be using this as a site link once that sale's ended to the page that has the products or services that are within that sale. You can set specific days and hours for a schedule. So let's say, for example, you had a contact us site link. If we scroll up to the top, we had one of those, don't we? Here we've talked about less than 24-hour response time, but you might claim, less than 20-minute response time. But maybe you're only actually able to offer that within business hours. So you could have a site link that says like, contact us, we'll get back to you within 20 minutes, within an hour, but that site link only runs, Monday to Fridays, and then you can set your time accordingly. Let's say it'd be 9 a.m. to, in this case, 5 p.m. So again, that's very much going to depend on your business, the capacities that you have, the promises you can make. So you can have a real good think and get quite flexible with your site links and think, okay, great, we could have this running during these days of the week, during this time, because we can actually fulfill the promise that's made in the site link, and we'll offer something slightly different in other times, or this can be date related and apply to different times of the year as well. So I've got a number of best practices to run through in a second, but first I want to very quickly let you know about Hyros. Hyros is fantastic tracking and attribution software and can really help you improve your Google Ad results. It's a software that all the big players in the industry use, including myself. I use it to track results for my own ads across multiple platforms, including Google Ads, and all my organic results as well, which is super helpful. So if someone, for example, comes through and books a call for our done-for-you services, I can see exactly where that person came from. This is particularly important if you're running ads across multiple channels or generating customers organically as well. Without accurate data, you are flying blind, and knowledge is power. So let me show you how important this is. So I'm here in my Hyros dashboard. I'm going to take a look at the data and the results that Hyros has been able to track and compare those to what I'm seeing within my Google Ad account for the same campaign. So this is a Google Ad campaign that we've been running. We're only looking at data for a few days here, but it really demonstrates what's going on. So you can see Hyros has registered 6 leads generated, a cost per lead of just over £15, 75 clicks. It's just a branded search campaign, hence why the CTR is 30%. So not a huge amount going on, but representative, right? So that's the data we can see within Hyros. If I jump over to my Google Ad account, we look at the exact same campaign, same time frame. We've got May 21st to 27th. You can see a lot of the data matches up, right? We've got 75 clicks, 30% CTR just like before. But if we scroll over, you can see that Google has only registered 3 conversions as opposed to the 6. So it's registered half the number of conversions. And I can tell you, looking at the back-end data, that the 6 from Hyros is the accurate number. And that's why this is so important, because we might look at the Google Ads data and come to the wrong conclusion, think this isn't profitable, turn stuff off when we shouldn't, but we can verify it with the Hyros data and make much better, more informed decisions and end up with better overall ad results because of it. So if you want to improve the performance of your Google Ad campaigns and be able to see exactly where your leads and sales are coming from, go ahead and sign up to Hyros. There is a link in the video description. So here are some best practices when it comes to creating your site links. Number 1, only include site links to pages you would actually be happy for people to go to. I've seen people make that mistake, often thinking they need to create site links for every page or every major page on a website. No, if it helps you get to the lead or sale by sending someone there, include it. If not, don't. Number 2, more is better than fewer. That allows Google to test different site link options and optimize based on performance. 3, you always want to add in a description. You can use the description to try and sell the product or service, sell the click, as I showed in the examples a second ago. Google won't always display your description. That's very much up to them, but it doesn't hurt to take a few extra seconds and make sure you get that added in. 4, as with most things Google related, the more specific you can be, the better. So ideally, you'd be adding site links at the ad group or the campaign level as opposed to account wide. That does assume that you have enough pages on your website and assumes that you're advertising different things. If you just advertise the one thing, then it doesn't really matter. But in an ideal world, you go with more specific site links to whatever it is that you're advertising and what people are going to see. 5, it's best to link to the most popular stuff on your website typically. If people are going there, if you take a look at Google Analytics and people are consistently going to those locations, those things are likely to be your case studies, your reviews, your testimonials, your portfolio, depending on your business, your service pages. That's often what you want to site link to. Just if you're feeling a little bit lost, what should I do? Take a look at your analytics. Where do people typically navigate to on your website? Include site links for those. We know that if you send people through to a place where they would often go or often spend a good amount of time. The retention on site after someone clicks on your Google ad, that is going to help increase your quality score, which will reduce your cost per click. Basically, Google's going, aha, someone clicked on this, they came through to this business's website and they stuck around for a while. They're obviously advertising things that people are interested in when they're searching for this type of stuff. Great, let's reward them with cheaper cost per clicks. It's Google's quality score is like a feedback mechanism to reward advertisers that are sending their users to places where the users actually want to be. Number 6, try not to repeat, where possible of course, what you've already included in your ad copy. If you just say the same thing in the descriptions, let's say, of your site link text, well, you've kind of missed out on an opportunity to show more benefits associated with your product or service, to really try and sell what it is you're offering. That's not always possible. There's often going to be overlap. That's okay. But if you can, think of it as extra space to try and convey those extra benefits and reason that people should take action. And number 7, site links often aren't used in this way, but they are an opportunity to sell. They're often a little bit boring, a little bit functional, but you can include, particularly in the descriptions, information that sells the click, that helps convince people that you are the business they want to buy from, that they want to work with. You can see that from some of the examples I talked about, particularly on those services or the case studies I'm talking about, be our next client success story, that sort of thing, right? And number 8, if a lot of your search volume comes from mobile, which is the case for a lot of businesses, then in order to make it more likely that your site link assets show up, you often want to use shorter site link text, particularly in the headline, in the main name of your site link. So if you're thinking, I'm really optimizing this for mobile, try and at least within the mix, because if you give Google lots of options, then they can work this out, right? Okay, this one's shorter text, we're more likely to display this on mobile versus these ones are longer, we're more likely to display these on desktop. But try and have options in there that are 15 characters or less, for example. And that's likely to help your site links appear more often when it comes to advertising on mobile, which, just like you saw with the desktop demonstration, is going to increase the size of your ad, make it more likely to get clicked on, move your competitors out the way. Lots of benefits from getting your site links to show up. So a few things that you need to be aware of when it comes to Google Ad site links. So they won't always show, very much up to Google whether they do or don't. So if you are searching around, taking a look at your ads and you don't see site links after you've got them set up, and you think, oh, I must have set something up wrong. Not necessarily, could just be that Google's decided not to. Google will rarely show site links for more than one business at any one time. So if your ad is appearing alongside one of your competitors and theirs has site links, yours is very unlikely to do so. So that's just something to be aware of if you're creating your site links. Google also gives you performance data by site link, which is really, really useful. In fact, let me show you what that looks like. So here I'm in a different Google Ad account that has actually had ad campaigns with site links running. But I'm in assets, I'm in the same location. If I go ahead and click on site link, then we can see results here by site link. So if we look at, say, for example, cost of conversion being an obvious metric that we might optimize around, we can see that this site link was at $5.78. This one was at 11, this one was at 9.71, 6.20, 18. So quite a big variance, but really useful information to be able to take a look at. And then you can use that to inform site link adjustments. So you might go, okay, these ones typically aren't performing as well. Let's turn those off. Google will stop using those and they'll favor other ones anyway, but you can take control and help the process along. But then it's really beneficial as well in creating new site links. Oh, okay, our case study site link seems to be performing really, really well. Why don't we create separate case study pages for different buckets of customers? So in our case, as a Google Ads agency, we could have an e-com specific case study page versus a lead gen specific case study page. And we think that based on the fact that our case study site link is doing really well, a generic one, that the more specific ones will perform even better. Because then if someone owns an e-commerce business and are thinking about hiring an agency to run their Google ads, they're going to go through to the e-com case study page. Likewise with lead gen, and that's going to help with performance. So you can use that data there to have a look at the results and work out, aha, this should be what we do going forward when it comes to site links. You can also use it to adjust existing site links, so you might want to make changes to the site link text or make changes to the site link descriptions based on what you see and be able to test different options and improve performance. Like with everything else Google Ads related, if you can test and go through multiple rounds of testing and actually analyze and learn from each round, you can significantly improve performance over time by doing that process again and again. And if you want another quick tip that you can implement right now to help improve your Google Ad results, go ahead and check out this video here. In it, I demonstrate a bidding strategy that not many Google advertisers use, but can make a massive difference to your results. Go ahead and give it a quick watch.